Hello, dear viewer. I am the Babatunde Felix, and today we're going to be journeying on an intellectual conversation. And with me, I have.
My name is Bambe Priest. Nice to meet you. Okay, so
Hmm.
you see, I have a lot of questions for you. But let's start.
Okay, I
Let's
have
start with.
questions for you.
So, how is life after school? How life they treat you? How things they?
Jesus. Hmm.
It's not like it cannot be that bad. So
Okay.
what's wrong?
Okay. Let me just say this with that.
Should put more effort into educating students, not just about the course they came to study, but much more about life skills. Because a lot of things I learned after I graduated, I learned them the hard way. Because when you learn something like first-hand experience, you learn it the hard way.
And I was just learning about savings, learning about CV. Just towards the end. Why should you be creating your CV towards the end of like when you want to finish? Why not from the beginning? And as you are doing, you're updating it. Because a lot of us or a lot of students they participate in activities in school. They will do freshers, just something that they do in school. They participate in a conference, attend an event, they would volunteer for something, and they don't add those things to their portfolio. And at the end of the day,
Yeah.
you now start remembering. Because when I was trying to draft my CV, and now to go back and remember what were the things I did when I was okay, I did this one, I did this. And I could not remember everything. But as you are growing, you are adding those things, adding those things, expanding. And also as students, try to gain hands-on experience, do extracurriculum activities, volunteer for church programs, volunteer for conferences, attend conferences, Power Rangers. I was like, okay, after that, I finished school like this. There's no redeem.
I start watching Power
Life
Rangers.
just the start.
Yeah, I wasted like let's say a month. So I was just watching Power Rangers, watching very weird content. But then it dawned on me that okay, what actually would happen? What if you don't get internship immediately? What are you going to sustain yourself on? Then I started working and learning some things. And so it was not easy, but then we thank God. We thank God for what we are today.
Yeah, so fine.
I've gone through a lot. I've seen
Okay,
Shiggy.
so this is the major reason why we're having this conversation. So that the software where you don't suffer, me they go suffer am. Because I'm going to graduate soon. Of course, I'm a finalist. So I always tell people there are some things that I did that I have been doing for years now. And most people are like, oh, you do a lot of businesses, you do a lot of things, and you are doing this. How do you balance them? And I keep telling people, and like me and you we've discussed before, there's really nothing like balancing. It's you doing them. That's why someone asked me one time. I think I made a video on it. I posted it recently, where she asked. She said I do a lot of things that she said I'm a shoulder for people to rest on.
Shoulder to cry
But
on.
when I need a shoulder, I use my own shoulder instead of finding others. So she asked how I balance a lot of things, and I had to explain that I do not. I honestly cannot. There are some things that I know how to do, but I cannot teach people. So I do not know you. You are also a very that we do most things. Most things that I do, you do.
Yes,
So
exactly.
you're and already graduate now. So you have already explored those things in real life. Me, I'm still exploring them as a student, but you're
I find
exploring
them
them in real life. So
interesting.
I like I said, I have a lot of questions. How do you balance? Yes, I know that there's really nothing like balancing, but how do you balance? Now you are even doing internship. Are you
Yeah,
done?
yeah.
Okay, so how do you still balance?
Okay. I think as you've said, we've established that there's nothing called balance.
Yeah.
It's just priority management. Now, one of the things I do, I have 4 5 different engagements and I pick them one per season. Maybe for example, this period I'm actively focusing on CASA creative media. I'm actively focusing on CASA. Probably in the next quarter. But does not mean that I'm not also doing other things. It's just that I
Yeah.
am putting much more. Let's say, for example, the
Priority.
100% of my energy, I'm putting 40% to others. Then,
Mhm.
as time goes on, you find out that when you reach or when you get to the end of the year, you actually put in more than because per quarter you are putting
Yeah.
much
40,
more
40, 40.
exactly. You are putting much more attention per quarter. So that's if you're a multifaceted person. There is nothing, you can never have balance.
Yes.
And because you are actually juggling it, you are going from one thing to another. And also, our advice creating a system or systems and structures that enable some things to run absent. Now, systems and structure, for example, if you run a business, how can people can you, how can people inquire about your brand? They want to know more about your business. Where would they get that information without you having to be typing long messages? Oh, what does your brand do? You're having class, you're reading. We sell lashes, okay. We sell butter, you are not typing when you're reading. But when you have it, maybe you created an frequently asked question page, Instagram
Yes.
page, and you're like, oh, to know much about this, go to our, send the link, and you are reading. That's literally a system and structure that you'll be able to use to curb that particular, because
Yeah.
time is equal money. For every time you waste, you use money. For example, there was a time that I had a rehearsal or I had a ministration, and I got so supposed to, I was supposed to be there 7:45 and 7:25 rather, and I left. I woke up late. I woke up around 6:40 thereabout. I got ready by 7, and the distance from my house to church will take me like 10 minutes. And before you see, and in Lagos, you have to wait for if it's bike, you have to wait for one
Of
person
course. If they
to
jump
bend.
bike.
Now it's not like you can just fly bike only you. You get so where I was the only one on the bike at that time, and that was already 7:05. And if I spend any time longer than that, I would miss the ministration because I have to be there early. So I had to pay for two people. So that means I had
Rich
to
man.
pay. He's a rich man. I had to, because the time if I'd woken up earlier, I wouldn't have paid for it.
Yeah.
So time in that context, I had to use money to replace the time that was wasted. So time in its essence is money. So if you think that okay, I will have, you can always have time for this. Everyone has 24 hours. It just depends on how you manage
Manage
and
your time.
prioritize your 24 hours. So balancing school, business, academics, have a structure for them. Okay, every single day, every single Monday, I'm going to be reading 2 hours. That's the only time I'm going to be. You've already set the time, and okay, every single Wednesday, I'm going to be investing so time. Just create a structure around the things you do. That's the best way to create what you think of call a balance.
Okay, yeah. Thank you. So there were some things I did, like I said, and I wasn't a structural person per se. I wasn't someone who who really cared about structure. Yes, I did care about structure. I grew up in a family where everything was structured. But uh, maybe I would say because I started doing business when I was very young, like 15, 16.
When his
So
son is not even young. I started when I was, hey Jesus, when I was like age 8 or 9. Let's never talk about the story of my field business.
yeah, I have had a lot of field businesses too. But of course I'm still going to go back into them. So
You know, I can't go
uh,
back to this one though. I was selling see, I pour nutrition inside water. Hey, I put that fish out to be cold. I will sell it for 10 naira, 20 naira. Ah,
So I wasn't really someone who loved structure up until recently when I discovered that I needed structure. And there's one thing you mentioned that you mentioned focus and priority. So I'll bring it to our country, Nigeria.
oh,
You see, there's one thing I've always said that this is why our government does not work. Apart from the fact that there's corruption, there's all of that. We focus too much on everything. When like whoever wants to run for presidency now, you have 4 years. You don't have more than 4 years. If you come, only you want to focus on bringing water, only you want to focus on economics, only you want to focus on lights, focus on this one. You want to focus on 10 things on road, on how many things do you want to do? So I think it is better if you want to, if I would run for a position now, for any position, of course, I don't really like politics, but if I would do that, then I would focus. For example, let's say I wanted to run for presidency, I would most likely focus on electricity or road. Those are the pain points, go, that causes accidents, a lot of things like that. People cannot even read. People cannot, industries are leaving Nigeria. You see that this thing affects our economy too. You can solve them one by one. If you dedicate 4 years to solving road problem, do you know how much you can solve? But one person want to solve everything, and that's why you, if you want to solve something like, let's not bring it to business, and that's why
exactly. I was about to link it to
to
business.
business, because they say while it is not actually right, they say that how do they say this thing? Jack
Have
of
a
all
target,
trades,
master
no,
of
jack of
none,
all trades, master of none. But we know that
master
master
of
of none, but better than
none.
better.
Exactly.
But even though upon still regardless, if you are a master of if you are a jack of all trade, there is still a way you can work that you make sure that you still prioritize at least one for a particular season. Of course, as a student, your academics number one. That one from 100 level to 500 level as a law student or MLS student, that needs to be your number focus. So if you're going to give almost all of your time, if you're still going to dedicate your time to every other thing, there are some things that I can pick. For example, I run student help, I run Orishirishi too. Then I still release songs and all of that. So let's say like three parts of my life that I'm actively running. There last year was when I focused my time, at least the last half of last year, on Orishirishi photography, videography. But the first half I focused on what music. That was when I released that one, released that one. Then this year I'm now focusing on student help. So I think because of that I could see I've been able to see significant growth.
Growth.
Even
Exactly.
your own personal brand too. Yeah, which we are going to talk about. I think I have a question too. I have questions on personal brand too. So I think balance is not achievable. However, priority is achievable.
Yes.
So I like
Also,
this discussion is with me.
as businesses, or if you are running a business,
Yeah.
that's why there's something we call unique selling points. For example,
USP. USP rather.
iPhone, they have their target audience. They know who they are looking
Thank
for. Okay,
you.
one of the best example I love to use so much when it talks about priority and understanding your audience is Labubu. Labubu knew who they wanted to sell to. They did not want to sell to people that to corporate girlies. Wetin corporate girlies dey use
Wetin
Labubu
one is
do?
Abubu
But
do?
they know that people that they can go out of their way to get money. They just want to feel the influence. They want to feel among quote and
Promo.
fear of missing out
Yeah.
exactly. So it is important to understand that you have to focus on one on a goal. If you are okay, I'm not really very familiar with football. I think I know that
I'm not familiar with food.
football now.
Okay, football.
If
Don't worry,
you
I'm familiar for you.
if you shoot, if you kick, if you kick the ball into the or on the line of the post, it is not considered a goal
Okay. That's to
until
enter the net.
it has to enter the net. So it means that even if you might be dangling around what looks like the goal, it is
Yeah.
still not a goal. You have to be very intentional about what you want to do and how you want to do them. It is one thing to say I want to go from hostel to auditorium, using school for
Yeah.
example. It's another thing for you to know where hostel is,
Where
where
auditorium
auditorium is,
is
and
and
which
how
road
to
you want
get
to
there.
pass. Because there are various
I want you to take you to get there.
exactly there are various routes that will take you there. So you have to be intentional about what you want to do and how you want to do it. So I think when it comes to priority management, list out. I think I do this thing myself. I get a book
Yeah.
and I
I
write
learned
out
that one from you.
the things you want to write it out. Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 2 says, Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 2 says, and the Lord said, write your vision on the board and make it plain and
Okay.
let them run with it. Because
Yeah.
it is important for you to write
It
out
is
your
what you write
vision.
that you always
You
remember,
always
remind
view
yourself
it
of.
inside. There's a bag I carry up and down. You would always find there's a particular book I use, and I still have I've been using that book since 20, or not that particular book, but I've been having those
Books.
kind of books here since 2021, 2022. And in fact, the breadth of my brand, Casa Fix, you can find it or trace it back to some of those. So actively, you write out the things and your priorities and like things you're working on per season, so that you don't debate and or distracted. Yes, that's the word. You know that you don't get distracted by other things. If you have the focus that okay, this year I want to achieve. Let's say for example now, Funke Akindele had a dedication to surpass her previous 1 billion. Every effort she
Streams.
did was for her to surpass it. Everything, creativity, content wise, was to surpass what she did. So if you understand your goal and your focus, you will obviously do much more to achieve it. So balancing is not something you can achieve. Just and as students, Nigerian students are multifaceted. Just don't know.
And most of us, but all
No,
of
all of
us.
us are multifaceted because you have your personal life, you have your academic life, some have spiritual life, some have businesses. So you are
And then there's those that
multifaceted.
have all.
Exactly, and there are some that have all. So as a student, I don't think we even have anything like okay, they're always multifaceted. Just having to know when and where to do some of those things. So, yeah, that's
Yeah.
just it for that.
Okay, yeah. So concerning setting targets, which you mentioned before. So there's something I did at the beginning of this year. I set particular monetary target that I've never achieved for my life that I want to achieve. So, and I'm not even 5% into it, but let's see.
And it's just
And
the beginning of the year now. Ah,
just going to year one enter February finish. Okay, so I'm not really much of a saver. I like food, and as much as I know how to manage my finance, people mostly think managing finances equals saving. Not in every case. So I know how to manage my finance well well. In fact, keeping the account ledger gbogbo, I will manage it well. You don't know that?
I think that no, I'm actually just starting to do that. I just
Yeah,
started
I just
doing that.
started to. It's not like I've been doing it before. I've not been sold my life before. So I want to know how you do your saving culture, like how you save. One, then how do you how do you not stop saving? How do you not shook hand inside your saving? Now, not there are people that they use a lot of apps that will help you to lock the money. But what if you are not actually locking the money? Maybe you don't trust those apps. Not like me, sha. But for people that are watching, what if you don't trust that app? Or maybe you feel like you like holding your money by yourself. You're very stingy, akagom. I don't want to release your money to other third party apps that you do not really know about. So how do you cultivate a saving culture that will stand and will sustain you for a while until I can make 50 million?
I think the first thing I would say is I'm currently reading a book called The Compound
Always
Effect.
read books.
Currently reading a book called The Compound Effect by forgotten his name actually. I don't know his name, but I know
Just read this book, but you don't know his name.
I know it's something Darren, but that's not even it. But the point is,
Oh, I
we
think I
talked
know
about
it.
tiny, tiny, tiny. We use this statement every time now that little drops of water make the mighty ocean. Now, it's not little drops of water that make the mighty ocean, it's the consistency of the little drops of water. So you can decide to say that you want to save a 1 million naira before the end of 2020. 2020. I've forgotten the year now, right? 2026 years. You can say you want to save a 1 million naira before the end of 2026. Now, you have to make sure that what money or what amount can I effortlessly give. And again, don't set goals that big or saving goals that are bigger than you. Now let me explain. If you can save, you can have emergency funds or emergency savings, and have savings for maybe your shoe, your bag, your iPhone, your whatever. But there should be one that even if it's 100 naira per day, you must not miss 100 naira per day for the whole 365 days. It might look so small, but the compound, if you keep doing it till you die, you don't know how much that is. And obviously, you would reach a point where 100 naira will be small, and you have to increase it to maybe 500. So start with the barest minimum of you don't start saving. Last year I had a saving goal of 50,000 naira, and I was able to meet it. And how I was able to meet it was because they play. Before I met it, because let's never talk about when this app that I use, when they lock my money. I'm this kind of person that I don't. You can't put money with me and the money. Even when I was having like I don't collect contributions. I cannot. Not because let me justify myself. Not like I spend it. Sometimes maybe I need to. Maybe for example, my bank is not working and I'm trying to like text and send my money and it's not answering. Maybe I save down in different accounts and that one the network is faster. And I'll send that money to get what I want to get and I forget to document it back. It's always very difficult to replace that money.
So to avoid stories that touches the brain, let me not just hold the money in my hand. So what I do is I use a third party app for saving. So I didn't even know that I'd set because I did that setting before I even started putting money there. That for every money that enters the account, it doesn't come out until 3 months. So I that particular time I wanted to move the money from one place. I moved it. I didn't even know. I just moved it to that app. And I thought that okay by December, I'm sorry, by December 10 or so, at that time, December 10 rather, I would just collect the money. Not knowing that my money was set for 20, I'm not collecting. And I needed God, I was in front, I was supposed to withdraw my transport for that period. How I even found money that particular day. I
Went to do Alabama.
so I had to like get some of my friends out after I would back and stuff. But at that particular period, my money was there. No matter the people used to say that some things are not emergency. Though not
It
parfait.
just grew Tony.
Exactly. Parfait is not emergency now. You can do you
Ten.
can do Gary parfait.
Relax it.
But then another country fruits parfait or or whatever parfait or you don't it's not an emergency. So I feel
Yeah.
like if you know you don't have the discipline for saving, use a third party. I don't say you don't at least you've seen testimonies from people. And make sure you do your research before you do
It's your money there.
your research and know what you're for me. I made my research and I actually like stand by the particular platform I use. So it's something that don't see saving as okay. I'm see it as a life or as the same way you wake up to brush.
Whether you like it or not, it's still your money.
Exactly. Same way you wake up to brush, to bath, to eat, see it as a daily, as a normal thing. Don't because
The
people see
lifestyle.
yes, see saving as a lifestyle rather than as a because
A
people
chore.
see exactly people see saving as a goal. Exactly. Don't see saving as a goal.
Hmm.
See it as a lifestyle. Because if you see it as a goal, after you save for maybe 1 million and you stop.
I've gotten to my goal.
Exactly.
You
Maybe
don't
for example,
continue.
now after saving 50K, that's all. I'm not saving. But if you are saving, okay, consistent, yes, there's a target saving amount, but don't base your savings on that target. Just see saving as a lifestyle. Okay, as I wake up early, as you breathe in oxygen, see saving as that. That's about saving. That's the only way you can actually create an active saving culture. You see it when you change your view from it being a goal to it being a lifestyle. You actually do more savings.
So savings is something that is in continuity, not a
Yes,
destination.
exactly.
Take that quote.
Savings is a journey.
Not a destination.
Ah,
Sharp.
Asha.
Okay, and then there's another thing that people do that I have seen as a business owner. I used to do it too, but last year I changed it. Having a personal account and putting your business money inside.
Ah,
It is the most basic thing, but people still do it.
sorry,
Where
I just stopped.
I actually just stopped too. But then there was nothing like saving because I could not even have an account per se because I dey see food. Bro, I dey chop my business money no be small because there was no like one thing it does is that if you keep your money in the same account, if you keep your business money in the same account that you keep your you will not really be able to keep track of how much comes into your brand and how much you spend. So it's this year I just it's last year ending of last year I
Actually,
just heard and that was because Sterling came to my school to come and force us to come and to open an account. I'm actually very grateful that they actually made me open the account because if I did not, I will not open an account like that. So I think it's very important. Then another thing that I remember that I want us to talk about is the fact that people cannot differentiate. Is the fact of this thing called branding. Of course, we know what branding is. I would love you to actually define it more later. But we know, me and you know what branding is. They may not know, but we know what branding is. But the problem is, people are not able to differentiate between their personal brand and a brand that they run, something like that, or something like an organization. No, a company. So, for example, in law now, it's a company is seen as a legal person differently from the owner of the brand or the founder of the company, and that's why even if I step down as the CEO, someone else becomes the CEO. So but most people don't see a brand they run that way. They see it as something that they want to do all their life, but it affects them many times because people are not able to differentiate them from their brand. For example, now if you're not able to differentiate me from my brand, don't I leave Achievers and then I leave, my brand follows
follows
me.
me.
But one thing that
Yes,
you want to do
yes.
is to create something that is still lasting, that creates a lasting effect. So what can you teach us about personal branding,
Let's
your own personal
let's start from
branding?
a brand. A brand, according to
Yeah,
is a feeling that
good.
now when I
That's
talk about
nice.
Coca-Cola, however it makes you feel, whatever comes to your mind, that's their brand. A brand is not your business. A brand is a perception of your
A
business
business.
to different. So if you hear the word let's say anything, any particular brand that is everything that comes to your head, that is that is the brand.
For iPhones now. You be rich
Exactly,
man.
exactly. Even though Rolex, for example,
Rolex
is
too.
something of class of
Class only for a selected few,
exactly for
the
the one
top one
percent.
percent.
Exactly. So that is how a
Nice.
brand is. So people and the word brand flies up every day. I'm starting a brand. I'm starting a brand.
A
It's not a brand.
business.
The brand is a perception. You can only shape your brand or build your brand, but not start a brand. That's one. When I was starting my business, I started my business. Though my business has a touch of my Casa Flix, has a touch of my name. So started calling me by my name rather than call because I had a different identity or my nickname at that time was
Very cool
Felix
designer.
Babs. Even that
And you don't get a lot.
I evolved. I evolved. But funny how I even found someone else that is using that name now. It was a conflict. So I was Flexi Babs before when I was doing mobile photography. When I decided to try a business rather, the name was Casa Flix. And people okay they liked the idea and they started calling me. And it got to a point where the customers I had were only patronizing because they
He knew you. Yeah.
now when I left the university, when I left the school, I saw that it was a little difficult to get because they don't know me. What I've discovered is that people buy from people. They buy from people they know. Buy from trusted people. Except if your brand is global and is
Global.
timeless and is
Yeah.
one that has been because I really don't know the owner of it. Neither do we.
Why
I
you
think
care?
exactly. We really more like
Oh, not true.
not yet, but if but actually
Not yet.
those
I like that.
not yet. But very soon.
The shower. It says my hand empty like that. They use my Rolex.
So at this point, you should understand that your business name and your brand, your personal brand, they are two different. Yes, they are two different things. So, for example, I'm an advocate for business strategy. That's me as an individual. My brand also, and it is not bad for your brand to
To have
also
the same
have the
things
same
or similar
values,
thing.
but you are there are two different. There is a difference between your personal brand has the power to initiate or introduce people to you. When people see that oh this person okay for example we know Funke Akindele. Funke Akindele is our
I say like
personal
this woman.
brand.
Oh.
I love her like mad. Funke Akindele is our personal brand and our
Mm-hmm.
business brand is Funke Akindele Network. Most people know her as Funke Akindele,
Exactly.
but she has built her personal brand enough to be able to initiate or to be able to invite people
But
to her.
people that don't even know her business,
They know
they
exactly.
know her. Then because of
It's
that,
not
they
only
know.
acting she does. She also
Yes.
has real estate.
She be the lawyers bro.
She's exactly
I
she's a
just didn't
lawyer.
know
She,
two
she
years
does a
ago.
lot of things. And the reason why she's able to bring people, okay, let me give an instance. When you go to all this buy one get one free kind of strategy, it stand out like come and taste our food. So your personal brand is that particular buy one get one free thing that invites people to the confines of what your business is about.
Yes.
When people meet your personality, they're like, okay,
And they
okay.
will not like
For
them
example,
last day.
at my workplace now, I when we wanted to start internship, someone was like, okay, what business idea can I start? And I gave the person a business idea. And since then, people had seen me as okay, this person has
In
business
his head.
idea in his head and everything. So since I was able to now pitch myself to them that okay, after all, I run a creative agency, you can come and get this.
I will help you with your
Exactly. So
branding.
it is from my
Yeah.
no who cares about Casa Vitalo more Casa Flix. But if they know me myself as a person, they experience me. From the experience they get from me that would make them want to venture into getting things from me. So your
Yes.
personal brand is what you should work on as a student. Because that's your name, that's who you are. That's who you want people to know you for, not your business.
You are the brand.
You are the brand in this case. So that's how you go on social media, you see certain people. How okay, if we talk about Eric Gugua, there is a particular way Eric Gugwa talks. It is it is associated to just him. It is
Elik. Elik one.
Eric Gugwa. Even his setting, his lights,
Yeah,
his setting,
everything is
everything has
constant.
exactly. So that's his personal brand. Eric also does blockchain, so he's able to bring people to those things. In fact, Most
Now
people
even with conversations
conversation.
with
Yes, yes, yes.
person.
I attended one of his conferences, and it was a whole lot. So he has built his personal brand. I think he started doing content 12 years, 13 years ago. Imagine someone building his personal brand for 12
12, okay,
years.
13 years.
Exactly. So and he most likely will be getting money from it through sponsorship ads and all of
Yeah.
that. But then he was able to also build his own business that it is not conflicting, or yes, it's not conflicting each other. So as a person, as an individual, as a person who wants to grow a timeless brand, your personal brand is one that will leave lasting impact. You will
Yes.
forget
People
brand
forget
names. You can
whatever.
never forget
I don't even
personal names.
remember whatever was here when I bought the clothes. I don't remember who sold it. I don't remember, and that was because it was in the market. So one thing that happens is it's similar to when you go to the market. There are some people you buy from and you don't go back, but there are some
True.
people you buy from and you stay. That's because of the feeling they gave you. So I don't know if that works like a brand. For example, you meet me in the market, you see a lot of places, I tell you come and buy, or then you come, then while buying, you are not actually buying, you don't come back because of what you bought. Because if I sell a shirt to you, you can as well get that shirt somewhere else.
Exactly.
But why do you keep coming back? That's most likely because of your personal brand.
There's a personal brand, the experience, and how you made them feel. I
Yes.
used to tell when some of my friends or people around me say they want to start a clothing line. I'm one of the very I'm always against it because first, people buy things because of how it makes them feel. If you buy, if you start a not clothing line is different from, I don't know, the clothing line that we have in this age. You just put a t-shirt and paste a design on it, and that's not actually what a clothing
Yeah.
line actually means. So if it's just if and the funny part is their t-shirt is always expensive. They'll be
Very,
selling
very
it for
expensive. So
15K.
who won't buy am? Na me wan buy am.
The point is, if they go to markets to
Who
get,
never chop?
if they go to markets to get clothes, will they actually, and they see your clothes there,
Will they buy
will they
it,
buy your
recognize
fifteen
and
thousand
buy it?
naira clothes or a round neck or normal plain, maybe without Louis Vuitton? It's not Vuitton, oh, Louis Vuitton, and probably that one is 3,000 naira. Would they buy the 3,000 naira one more than like five like that now, or they'll buy your own? Most people will buy the one that they
It's cheaper.
exactly. So if you are starting a clothing line and you are thinking that okay, oh, you want to just do a design, place it on the, that's not a clothing
I'm
line.
starting one by the way.
Yeah. Oh yeah, now.
Actually,
See, well, your own case is different because yours is going to be a direct concept. That's so there's something unique about it. If everyone does the same, if everyone does the same thing, there's no diversity.
everybody just dey sell skirt and blouse, shirt.
No, you just
I'm
do
even
something.
tired.
I think one of the trends that literally blew up was the trend of this ashoki and the pant trousers. When it
Yeah.
started, it was a different industry on its own, and that's why I used to tell people that if you want to start a fashion line, go back into the 1700s and research for their the history of fashion. You should be able to pick one concept from the olden days,
And
and
revamp
revamp
it.
it. Corset was done in the I think in the Victorian
Men
era.
men were wearing it.
Exactly.
Now, if
Now
you
corset is the order of the day, and corset has been like a long time ago. Them Bridgerton people.
yeah,
So these are things that you have to remodify. There's nothing new under the sun. So you have to remodify what
even
has worked.
dance, even a lot of
Even
dance wey we dey
dances,
dance now, they
exact
don dance
everything
am
is
before.
remodified. So as a business, as a personal brand, you have to first search in words. What makes me different? What is that thing I have that every other person does not have? Then you build on it, capitalize. For me, I like talking. And
Yeah,
I can
we
talk
like talking.
exactly. I can talk for hours. So that's why I do brand
Especially if I have
consultation
knowledge
and
on something.
exactly I do strategy and consultation because I know that I consume information and I talk much more. So
Yeah.
know your strengths and build and capitalize on your strengths. My weakness most likely will be maybe um planning. I know it's not planning. I don't even know off edge because I'm working on those weaknesses to even get
I
better
can't
at
even
it.
recall the weaknesses because I don't even know if they are weaknesses anymore.
Exactly, because I probably worked
Yeah.
on them. Oh yes, over perfection. That's a weakness. It's not.
Is that a weakness?
It can be. It's a blessing and it's a curse. Actually, it can be a weakness. It's in
Uh,
between. I
e
get what
dey
you're
e
trying to say.
dey e dey
It's
there,
in
e
between
dey
because
there.
okay, if you are this kind of person that you want over perfection, you do not start certain things early. You just
Yeah,
take
you
certain
want to plan and
no, but
keep
I'm not
planning.
that planning, and that's where my over
Eh,
perfection. I don't understand it
but
because I'm also this kind of person that I get an idea, immediately and I run.
by with no,
Immediately I get an
not
idea, I
impulse
run.
though. because now they're going to be, I feel like when it comes maybe by impulse, you
No,
do
not
plan it
yes.
small,
I will do small plan, but I don't do
but
long
not like
planning.
you keep planning and say,
I don't.
okay, until it's perfect, until
The
it's perfect.
highest or the highest I've waited to launch or plan or is 1 month and 5 days. That's the highest I've waited. I don't do more. Anything that is more than 1 month, I'm not doing.
Everything that I have planned that got very long, I have not launched them.
Exactly, that's the problem. Because the
I've
more
not launched
if
them.
I keep delaying and delaying, it's going to delay the time I'm going to learn.
Yeah.
So I think concluding this conversation, I think I would say that for every student, for every person, it's important for you to venture into building your personal, building yourself as a person. Stock up values, read books, watch podcasts, engage in active conversations with people. That's the only way you get
Have friends
better.
that want to. It's not people that converse about nonsense that will not mention. Not
Yeah.
people that will be dancing that trend online.
Oh my God, you it was in my head.
Thankfully, I did not see it because I have the way I created
My
my
FYP
FYP guy. I
Abi.
was just hearing people saying it. So happy.
I know it.
Then there's another thing concerning branding. Before we go, sorry, that I'm wasting people's time. So someone is this someone? Abi is just in my head. Shout that is it a necessity to go into a business doing something you love or just something that makes money at that point? I don't necessarily need to love cooking, but I can employ someone because there's money in cooking. Of course, everybody eats every time. You can never go wrong. We can barely go wrong. Not like never. We can barely go wrong with anything that concerns eating or water or whatever. So is it necessary that you need to have a business that
You
you
love and you know how
love?
to do.
Then that's one. Then two, for everything that I've ever created, even if I'm going to hand it over to someone else, for example, in student up where I have people that hold other positions, for every position they are holding, I have idea about them too. So if someone maybe is busy, something is wrong, I can do it on their behalf. So do you think it's necessary that as a business owner that wants to be employing people later or want to have people under you, do you think it's necessary to have at least an idea about everything? I think I know you do. So because you do, I'm asking because I also do. Me no be like saying I only was with the people you know normal. Let's know if if other people need to do that too. So do you need to at least have an idea about everything? At least even if not small about everything you do. So those are two questions.
The first question was
Do you need to love
love. Okay,
yeah.
okay. Now I think if you want to start a business. Because if you are looking
That's
at
true.
now, the first things first, the first priority is solving it. Your business must solve it. Is your business needed? Why are you starting a tissue paper that is wet? I think I watched one all this tax this thing. A tissue paper that is wet.
Why?
We have wipes already now. Why are you starting that kind
Yes.
of
Yo,
brand?
yeah, I saw that.
Exactly. I
I saw
think
that.
it's like a tissue paper that when you press one place to be
It's
producing water.
producing water.
There
Why?
is wipes already now. Like how far now? Relax. So and now you can actually start a business that you don't really love, but you can
Hmm?
outsource someone to run it for
Yeah.
you. Who have the managerial assignment to make sure that it goes on well.
Most likely I have the money to pump in.
Exactly, the money, the finance, and the people, the right set of people to run it. With that, there are a lot of people that they run certain brands that I think
Who tell you say don't go to know about sugar?
I found out that Porto Missing has a spaghetti like a
Are you
food brand.
whining me?
Yes, Porto Missing, the music minister, has a food brand. Is it the one cooking? Exactly. So you don't necessarily have to even be the face of the brand, but you
Yeah.
just have to understand the concept of what makes a business a business, and put in the necessary effort, necessary time, necessary finance into it. That's for the first one. Just start a business that solves a problem. You don't necessarily have to love it. If you don't love it, outsource somebody for it. That's that. And if you love your business, the plus for you goes a very, very long. For the second one, which is knowing quite a number of things. I think
Yeah.
if you start your brand as a solo or a sole proprietor, you would obviously
Do
know
all
and
of those
handle
things.
everything. If if people and I think one thing you should do is if you actually want your business, you have to sometimes make mistakes.
Yeah, true.
I think there was a time that we had an issue with content. I had over 15 ideas. Told them, Alpha, create content idea. Send one, go back and do and that one. I have like I can. That's the best way to teach people.
Yeah.
That's the best
Make
way
them make
to
mistakes,
yes.
then
When they,
solve the
when they make
problem
their
themselves.
mistakes, then you can tell them, okay, this is, I don't like this one because it does not maybe it doesn't have brand values, does not then recommend things that will make them get better at it. But if you say because they not do it, you get into it. You're
It
just
yourself.
you are I don't even there's a particular English they call this kind of at the end of the day you find out that you are the one running
You will
the
be
brand.
alone
You will be
and you
alone,
will just burn
exactly.
yourself out.
You will burn out. I burnt out. I did
We burnt out.
I've done that thing before, so I know how it feels.
Yeah. That's
I'm
why I brought the question
you are doing
because
finance, I'm the one tracking, okay, how much is entering. You are doing content, you are doing you will burn out. So sometimes just leave once your brand is getting to at least after you have progressed to 3 years, 4 years, there's some things that you should not even be found doing. You know how to do it, but at least somebody should be able to at least pass the knowledge of and also create an SOP. That's one of the things I imputed in my brand. I it took me time, but it is going to
what's
save
SOP?
you.
You
SOP
didn't know.
means standard operating procedure. That is, if for example now I want to do a brand consultation for somebody, the set of questions I ask people, I've curated them and documented them in a document. So if you want to now do consultation on my behalf, you just go to that document
Yeah.
and check, okay, this is what Brother Felix used to ask. But if it's content creation too, SOP for content creation, number one, go to the site of we have people that maybe we want to ask, want to look like, or
Yeah.
like people that are inspiration for content. Go to, if you don't know about them, go to ABCD video, go to CBN, go to FSC video, check the things from it, save 2 or 4 videos, generate caption from here, do this from here. I've given you a step-by-step process on how to do it. Just like in MLS, we work with SOPs from A to B to C to D, like that, like that. So when you do that, you are sure of the result that you're going to get. For example, in MLS for blood group now, first thing you do is to get your whole blood inside the right container. You check the name, you check this, you check that, put it on this place, add this antisera, you mix it. You can never make a mistake if you
Yeah.
follow the SOP. If there is an expected result that you get. That's why it is important to have an SOP as an organizer. With an SOP, you will not even need to be doing something because you just tell the person, go and read the SOP. So that's just it.
That works. I can't remember any of my questions. And this video is already getting very long.
Yes, yes, yeah.
But I know you are not
If
bored,
you
of
guys
course.
want more of our videos, send us. But then, thank you for staying with us
Owó la fi ń gbé ìyìn rere
to
lọ.
this point. I think I know you learned one of it. And if you didn't, you are the top.
No, you may not actually be people, you may just know more than us. If you be our boss.
You are our boss. So if you not learn anything from this thing, yeah, I would say you are the problem. So thank you very much for staying with us to this very moment. I can't say when we I had to take flight down to this place. So I don't know if you really get it. If you want another version, if you want another episode like this, let us know so we can.
Let us know and
Yeah,
let us know with your
maybe it's
money.
Lagos I are staying. We can
I think Lagos now.
yes, now we can
Do you want to come to Badagry?
this is fine.
I can't come to your side either. My
Why
mom,
can't you come?
I'm the last one. I don't leave my father's house.
So thank you very much for joining. See you on the next.
See
If
you.
there's going to be a next, but see you.
There will surely be a next. Maybe when we have make it very well, sha, and we are
Why should we
using.
wait till that time?
No, now you show our true back. So get most likely when we are not in.
Bye.
Bye.